Good evening. Welcome, welcome everybody. My name is Neria Leiva Gutierrez and I am NOMA's Executive Director. And this is so exciting to be here tonight. And it's also an anniversary of sorts for me. My job at NOMA began in January of 2020 and the Women in the Heights opening was my very first public event. It also happened to be my final public event since, as we know, the day right after we went right into lockdown. But here we are again, strong and reunited for our 11th annual Women in the Heights exhibition. And I can't think of a better way to celebrate the amazing contributions of women during Women's History Month than by shining a light on our women of Upper Manhattan. And speaking of extraordinary women, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the curator of tonight's exhibition, artist Andrea Arroyo. Born in Mexico City and based in New York City, Andrea is a self-taught and award-winning artist, curator, and activist, working in drawing, painting, sculpture, site-specific installations, and public art. Her work, which examines social justice themes with a special focus on women and the impact on women, is widely exhibited around the globe. She is the recipient of numerous prizes, honors, and grants from a variety of institutions and entities, and she has been awarded Outstanding Women of New York, Groundbreaking Latina in the Arts, and Outstanding Latina of the Year. Her public works have appeared in New York City schools, the International Museum of Women, the Elizabeth Cady Stanton Museum, the Morris Jamel Mansion, and many of you may have seen her recent show, Covida, was a wonderful exhibition, and so many other places. And I can go on, but you are here tonight to hear from her and to celebrate one another, and to hear from each other, wonderful, wonderful artists. And I'm so excited about this show. And I should say, it's a joy. It's a joy to be here with all of you. There's something really beautiful. And you know, it's a year later and we've all, as Andrea said before, have gone through quite a lot. But again, here we are, and it's wonderful to be a part of this. And it's also been a joy to work with Andrea. Her commitment to this community, to art, to women, and to this exhibition is truly inspirational. And so I am thrilled now to turn the evening over to her. Andrea.
Thank you so much, Neria. Thank you, Michelle, as well. Thank you, Noma. I am so glad that we are just gathered here and just this amazing group of women. So thank you, everyone. So as you all know, these are unprecedented times, a worldwide pandemic, political turmoil, but women really continue to lead the way and shedding light into important issues, building bridges, questioning boundaries, and really envisioning a better world. So all of the artists who are featured in the exhibit represent, you know, a diversity of voices in Upper Manhattan, and really create a platform for dialogue between our community, our local community, and now what's become a worldwide community via and thanks to Zoom and in the internet. So thank you for that. It is a year into the pandemic lockdown, and we find ourselves still confining ourselves into little spaces, big spaces, but still confined. But artists always find freedom and share freedom in their creativity. They show us the light at the end of the tunnel, and they show us the art at the end of the tunnel. So I really, really am grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for your talent and your energy, and I'm really excited that we are celebrating the 11 Women in the Heights, and it's gonna be a program packed full of wonderful artists. So we're gonna go one by one. Each one is gonna speak for about 1 minute. I'm gonna ask artists to please be mindful of the time because we have 30 artists participating. So we wanna hear from everyone. It's gonna be beautiful, it's gonna be inspiring, and it's gonna be fabulous. So without any further ado, I'll give it to Michelle. So she's gonna be prompting each one of you. Thank you.
Dianna, can you?
Oh, hello. Yes, I'm unmuted. Okay, great. Yes. Hi, my name is Dianna Schmurz. This is my drawing. It's about 15 inches by 50 inches, and it's called Lift. And I think the idea is simple but powerful, that we need to lift each other up no matter what race, no matter what religion or gender we are.
Thank
Thank you, Dianna.
Thanks.
Is Gal here? Oh. Nope. Okay, this is Gal Cohen. Elle?
Hi, good evening. Hey, I'm so glad to be among so many beautiful women, and Andrea, you made me cry when things that you said about women. It really is. So my work is very much about light and shadow. To me, it's about the human spirit and how we have ourselves, or light and or shadows inside of ourselves, and we do have to make choices. And I think the pandemic actually, I hope, brought people more into themselves and more taking conscious of their light and shadow. And I hope that somehow at the end of this long tunnel, once we're going to see this light, we're going to shine even more light around ourselves. And I think that really us artists are here to heal this world. So hey, let's keep on going. And women, like, I'm so honored and so grateful to be with you guys again after many years of, yeah.
Thank you, Elle.
Hi, this is me. Okay. So my name is Julia Justo. I'm an interdisciplinary artist, and I want to say thank you for inviting me to participate to this wonderful exhibition. This is a socially engaged fiber artwork where I invited immigrants to write about their hopes for the future. And I included those writings in small bags that I attached to the flag. For me, it was a way to give voice to immigrants. That was the light part of the work. And the dark is that I created this piece in response to the hostility that sometimes we see from certain groups in this country, that they don't understand that this is everybody's land, that we are living here originally from other countries, but we are contributing because we live here and we work here, and we are immigrants, and we are not gonna go anywhere.
Thank you, Julia.
Thank you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Somehow my video has disappeared, so you have to imagine what I look like. I'm not sure why that happened. I'll try to refresh afterwards. But my name is Kathleen Campbell. I'm very pleased to be part of this exhibit, and I thank Andrea for inviting me back as part of Creating for Change a couple years ago. And that led to a collaboration with the great Selina Hernandez, who we'll hear from later on. But I wanted to say a couple of things. Sometimes they talk about whether art should be political or not. And I don't think we always have that choice as women of color, because our voices they try to silence our voices anyway, so that even speaking up, even if you're saying this flower is beautiful, becomes a political act, all right? Or I want my family to be safe, anything along those lines. But in this particular photo, which is of a boy looking over out the window at the Black Lives Matter mural that was at 125th and 7th Avenue, it just struck me like his vulnerability, his wonder, and the fact that, he has no idea of the incredible seriousness of the reason behind the mural. And I hope he never finds out, okay? I hope that by the time he grows up, there will be no more George Floyds. All right, there will be no more Breonna Taylors. And he can just look at it as, a time out of time, so to speak. So thanks again for this exhibit. And I think the other women's work that I've been checking out is fantastic.
Thank you, Kathleen. Wise words. Kai?
Okay.
Yep, thank
Okay.
you. I'm Sky Pape, and I just want to say greetings to all of you. I'm so happy, delighted to be here with you tonight on this occasion for celebration. And thank you, Andrea and Michelle and Niria and Noma for all you've put into this, and to all of you other wonderful artists for sharing your work here. My piece is titled Other People's Children, and it's fairly large, around 51 inches square, mostly ink on paper, and there's a little wooden wand that I painted and inserted into loops on the bottom right there. The spark for this piece actually started when I found a lost toy on one of my long walks through the parks up here and picked it up. You know how something falls out of one world and takes its place in another. And I would say wands, as everyone clearly knows, create magic, making things disappear and appear. And in this piece, I'm using a lot of patterning, layered patterning, to both invite and prevent movement through space, which is like the in, out. And the black and white palette relates to dark, light, and dark. I found there's a lot of philosophy about complementary opposites like these, as in, you know, two sides of the same coin, or yin and yang. And how, to me, what's really relevant is seeing the interconnectivity and how the whole can encompass stark and sometimes subtle differences as well. And that's me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sky.
I believe Gal is here under a different screen name. Is that correct?
I was here all along. I just wasn't muted.
Okay. Would you like to say something?
Yeah, hi. First of all, thank you so much. I'm very excited to be part of this important exhibition. Thank you, Andrea, for the curation, and Noma for hosting us. I think in these days, more than ever before, women presence and representation is crucial for our society, culture, media, politics, and whatnot. And my painting, which is part of Female Figurine series, is exactly about that. Is based on prehistoric sculptures, accounted to be the most ancient form of representation of the female body in humankind, and it speaks to that important and empowering of femininity and female and womanhood for whatever it is to be. While the possibilities of interpretation of these figurines are varied, from fertility amulets to religion or shamanistic objects or symbols of matriarchal societies, my painting suggests a more personal and open-ended reading of these thought-provoking objects. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do not believe Ava is here.
She's not.
Okay. So Jessica, you're next.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Mafia. I just wanted to say thank you so much for the honor of being able to participate in this beautiful show with all you wonderful artists. So this piece is Untitled. It's part of a larger long-term series in progress of self-portraits, life-size silhouettes, in which I use a different medium on each body and a different element of nature to express my inner nature. And so, you know, this particular piece, I think, works, and most of the pieces of the series work well with this theme, because I'm using my interior landscape and manifesting it on the exterior bodily form.
Thank you, Jessica.
Vicky?
Hello.
Yes,
Hi.
to speak.
Hi, I am Vicky Azcoitia. I am a documentary photographer whose work focuses on the natural environment. But I never do cyanotypes. When the pandemic came, I had the need of creating something different because we were living something different. And so during the summer, I decided to collect wildflowers in the very early morning and documenting them photographically, but through a process that I wasn't familiar with and it was new for me. And that's the result of the series. So this is one of the pieces of the series. Well, it's the process is what called me for light, dark to light. Is what we use to create cyanotypes, which is the sunlight, and it processes in the opposite. So it was coming from dark to light, not only with the art, but within myself too. It helped me to heal through the creative process, all the anxiety and all the feelings that I was going through. Yeah.
Thank you, Vicky.
Hello, I'm Patricia Miranda. I'm so excited to be here with all these amazing, amazing women. And thank you so much, Andrea, for including me in this exhibition, and to Noma for all this incredible work, for having this show of women artists. It's so important. This work is part of a large series of works, textile works, called Lamentation. This is a small work, about 32 inches by about 16 inches. Most of them are very large wall-sized pieces that are hand-dyed. They're made from donated and found linens. This is Battenberg lace. And they are hand-dyed, often with natural dyes like cochineal. And the pieces hanging from it are some metal milagros. On this piece, metal milagros of the Sacred Heart. And then the plaster pieces are handmade cast forms that are reference the body. And I think of these as mourning objects, or like shrouds, like tapestry shrouds, large monumental shrouds, to kind of, you know, I think this past year has been such a year of mourning that it's become an enormous part of my work. And so this is a part of that series. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia.
Hi to everyone.
Thank you.
So this work is by Karen Greene, and this is Maria Fernandez. So Maria is unmuted. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Hi, Andrea. Thank you for the creation of the photo. This photo, along with the topic of the white is dark and light, is how the work of the nun go unseen, and they do such a selfless job in humanity and everywhere in the world where they provide services. And I feel that most of the time that work go unseen under the condition that they live and everything that they do to help the needy. It needs to be exposed. Like this is specific place. They go to the hospital where they leave people. They abandon the elderly there. So they have this nursing home where they take care of them, and the government hardly provide any services for them. So my aunt was Madre Superiora. She was a mother, and she was a nun, and she gave herself like all her life. She died. She was 94 when she passed away, and she built that place for the elderly. And she worked as a nun under, you know, super poor conditions, but they give so much love and so many services to the community of the needy. And what struck me about that picture is that they have air conditioning there, but she's opening the window because she wants light to come in. Mind you, that the lady in the bed is blind. So, you know, it was like No, I want her to, you know, feel the light, even though she's not going to. So I thought it was a wonderful gesture there. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
Mhm.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Kiri Avelar. I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much, Andrea, for curating this exhibit, and to Noma for holding this space for us. This piece is part of a larger work that I have titled Mestiza Consciousness, and it really speaks to the in-between artistry and especially inspiration that I've taken from a colleague of mine, Mexican-American choreographer Michelle Manzanales, and feminist Chicana scholar Gloria Anzaldúa. And so thinking about the theme for this exhibit, in, out, light, dark, and this play between words, thinking about the in-between space and how are we at times both simultaneously. And so looking at movement, gesture, labor, workforce, and how all of these things exist in our culture and in our artistry as in-between artists, speaking specifically for myself as a Chicana based in New York City, and of these artists that I'm inspired by.
Thank you so much, Kiri.
I have lost my cursor. Sorry. There we go. Sorry. I used to go.
Yeah, or is
she's here. I don't know, maybe she's having trouble unmuting. I've been asking her to.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So,
yes. Yeah.
Oh, Jessica. Okay.
Yeah. Did you hear? Right? Yes. Sorry. Thank you for everybody, and I'm so glad to be part of this exhibition. And I'm Yasuo Tanaka, and my work is the title is like Lucifer 1, and this is a digital photograph. I wrote some statements, so I'm gonna read it. And my days of internal dialogue in my apartment and in nearby parks surrounded by nature gave me awareness of my life while experiencing the COVID-19 rules, lockdown, social distancing, and wearing masks. In the natural cycle of life, under the sunlight, one lives with death and rebirth. The darkest hour is always just before the dawn. And Lucifer is a Latin word meaning stars shining at dawn, and a person who brings light. We are all living in the present and illuminating the future as beings of light. We know there is light because there is darkness. And thank you.
Thank you, Yasuyo.
Yeah.
Leenda is not with us tonight. Lilia.
Hi. Hi, I'm so glad to be a part of it. I remember last year's show, which almost like stepped onto the pandemic time. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Noma. Thank you, Michelle and Nidia and everybody. So good to be here with people. And this piece is called Truce. It's a rather small pen and ink drawing. And I've always been fascinated with windows, just kind of maybe obsessed with windows, because they're, to me, a very symbolic thing. They're a connection between the inside and the outside, and you can look in and you can look out, and you can look outside and see what's outside, and you can kind of glimpse inside what's inside a space. And I did this piece in 2017, in the very beginning, when our world was sort of upside down. And so these windows have no walls. And I kind of almost unconsciously did it this way. These are just windows floating, tilted, looking for you know, their maybe rightful place, their memories, there's some kind of hope. And then in 2020, I revisited this painting and this drawing. And by then it seemed like life was divided into before and after, which is why I did this line in the bottom third. And life really became memories and now, and the inside and outside obviously, you know, became a whole new idea, and the idea of safety inside and unsafety outside, all of it went out of balance. And my hope is that the title is Truce, and my hope is that we are maybe now at a point of reflection and rest, and we're going to rebuild, and these windows will find their walls and they will be straight and they will be lit. And one of the most heartbreaking things to me during the pandemic were all the closed and dark businesses and shuttered, you know, local businesses. So hopefully it'll all come back. So this is about remembering and coming back.
Thank you, Lilia.
Now I believe Selina will. I had you unmuted. Okay. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Selina Hernandez here. I am doing a poem entitled Fired Up. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. Most people are just plain tired, love. I can go down a list of all the things I'm tired of. I'm tired of politics, of this pandemic, of all the other issues that are systemic. I'm tired of the casualties. I'm tired of this disease. I'm tired of the shaming, tired of the blaming. I'm tired of the hate and all the ignorant folks. I'm tired of racism and the xenophobes. I'm tired of being scared for my boys. I'm tired of all the lost joy. I'm tired of all the BS. I'm tired of all the stress. Tired of feeling like a total mess. But it came to me. Instead of being tired of, I think we need to be getting fired up. Because you know who's not tired? COVID. Even with all the lies, we can't forget all those who have died, either from this virus, another, or the disease of hate. None of that can be commonplace. Every day, people dying, morgues on the street. None of them get to be tired or beat. So maybe we need a mind shift. Remind us that life is a gift. Yes, instead of getting tired of, we need to get fired up. I'm tired, but I'm loved, and I love, and I breathe. I can stand and I can leave thoughts of being tired behind and let my light truly shine. I can empower myself with all the information that is given, but I won't let it paralyze me. I'm going to continue living. Even though things aren't the same, I can move forward in boldness, in strength, in love, and in faith. There are people who can't do that now. We can move forward even if we don't know how. Because life is a gift. Even if the wrapping is crummy, life is also rough. I know this, I know, dummy. But we got to move forward and stop being tired of. In order to live our best life, we need to be getting fired up. Thank you.
Thank you, Selina.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathy.
Yes, I'm Kathy O'Keefe. This is an acrylic on canvas, 16 by 20 inches. It's called Chaos or Control. And those are two kind of light and dark feelings that I had throughout the pandemic. When it first started, I think like everyone else, I felt totally devastated. The world seems to have fallen apart, And then I found in my art, which seemed like it was falling apart, I found new life there. And Zoom, which is ubiquitous now for all of us, became a tremendous tool. I was in a monotype group, and that involved, of course, printmaking, but we were unable to go to the printmaking shop anymore. So we became a salon essentially, and everyone just worked with materials they had at home and created new kinds of art. And we became very close and became better artists and better people. And I think that this painting shows kind of the relationship between the chaos and the control. Working as a painter gave me some illusion of control, but in fact, it gave me some measure of control, like a buoy in my life. And I think that could be said for others. I also want to thank everyone at NOMA and the other artists for their beautiful work. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Hello, my name's Lyndell Brookhouse-Gil, and I want to take a moment to say thank you to Noma and Andrea Arroyo for keeping light art alive and well in New York. It's wonderful. And to all my fellow artists in the exhibit, thank you so much. This piece is called The Halal Guys on 53rd Street. And I just want to talk a little bit about the process of being an artist. Sometimes, you know, you just work and you work and you work, and it's really about the process that is tied to growth and keeping sane during these times. So it's really helped me through this period to be a painter. You know, it's a lifeline. Anyway, speaking generally about my painting, I like to see how lights reflect on my subject matter, and I'm always looking for contrasting colors. So in this particular piece, you can see that I'm really working with contrasting warm and cool colors. That's my process sort of. With regards to my vision, I like narratives that capture moments in time. And as a New Yorker, there are very special moments that I think represent a true New York experience. And so I look a lot for those moments. I dedicate my work to observers that also see these moments of shared humanity, because I believe these times call for our recognition of what brings us together. And I really, you know, look for those moments. So thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Lyndell.
Hi, I'm Diane Drescher. My piece is Magnolia Leaves and Deben Corn, and the medium is oil paint on Arches paper. I'm a painter who likes to work in series. This past winter, I explored the genre of still life painting, finding inspiration in the beauty of magnolia leaves. When the leaves are green, their shapes are animated, and it's as if there is a conversation going on. When the leaves dry, they become a rich terracotta color and curl into a spiral shape. This represents, for me, the quiet inward cycle of nature. In this series of paintings, I include a monograph of a painter I admire. In this one, Magnolia Leaves and Diebenkorn, the book is about Richard Diebenkorn. In other paintings, the reference is to Matisse, Robert De Niro Sr., Nicholas de Stael. I feel these paintings highlight my ongoing conversation with both nature and art. I want to thank Andrea Arroyo for including me in this show, and I am so inspired by all the women whose work I've seen tonight. I can't even express that. And so thank you. And also I want to thank Cornerstone Studios and Jeff Hoppe for the art studio sublet I had this winter here in Washington Heights. This is where I was able to work on the paintings. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Diane.
Hi, everybody. This is Denise Penizzotto, and my painting is called Hierophany 2. It's a second in a series. I began this piece for the Met Copyist program in the Met Museum's Greek and Roman wing in front of the terracotta hydria, which is the vase that's the central figure of this painting. And I began this back in February into March of 2020 last year. And then the pandemic came and closed the copyist program in the Met down. So I continued this painting at home in the studio. And in thinking about in and out, light and dark, this piece became really relevant to the title for me because there's been so much trauma, but then also so much relief happening simultaneously at this time. And hierophany is a nod towards a connection, you know, from whatever your inner spirit is to your core. And I think of this as the trauma and the relief happening. And this piece represents to me this uncertainty and this like reaching out for hope, for a connection, and then also to the loss of the connection.
Thank you, Denise.
You're welcome.
Hi. Well, this is my piece. My name is Rose Deller, and I'm so happy to be part of this show again. Andrea, you are the best. Noma, for putting this together. Yeah, last year we were kind of just barely making it and then waiting till almost the end of the summer to pick up our work. It's been really interesting, to say the least. It's for me, it's been kind of a task to really like focus on work, taken all of this time that you kind of had to yourself. You think you would be like so busy, but just concerned about everything that was going on around me. I've kind of retreated a little back into things that I was doing before, which is printing women's undergarments, just a monoprint with, it's just vintage underwear that I'm using. And it was something that I was able to do here at home with a slab roller that I have for my ceramics project. So in the sense of the in and the out, the inner, your underwear, the outerwear, the me using the slab roller, all of that came into play while I was trying to figure out what I was going to do through quarantining and through being inside, and to trying to learn all these new technologies and being online and teaching online. It was a quiet moment for me to be able just to say, okay, I know how to do this, and I'm going to MacGyver a way to do this within my space. And yeah, this is, I think, girdle number 5. Something like that. I just order them on eBay, and I go to town with them with white ink on black paper.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Neria and Michelle. Greetings, fellow artists. This piece is called Reparations, and it's my first altered book with found objects. It features Harriet Tubman and Fannie Lou Hamer, who were 2 incredibly strong warrior women who changed the lives of many people for the better. Harriet Tubman helped usher many people out of enslavement and into freedom, and Fannie Lou Hamer helped to register people, get them out of voter suppression and into the polls. And I'm at 45 seconds, so I got a few seconds left. The shredded money you see there is something that when we're finished with it, the government shreds it. So when it's out of usefulness, it gets shred. And speaking of money, we are waiting for Harriet Tubman to be placed on the $20 bill.
Thank you, Wilhelmina. Yes.
Hello. Hi, I am Cecilia Estavares. I am a multimedia artist who loves to use recycled found objects. It's what you're seeing here is a work entitled Who I Am. It's a hand-cut collage on paper with acrylic detailing. So it's this idea of, you know, finding ways of doing art sustainably. And that's why I like kind of repurposing printed materials. And I've been exploring the idea of, similar to a lot of the artists that spoke before, about these inner landscapes. It's been a meditation around passing of time and the spaces that we inhabit. And as life slowed down with the pandemic, I feel there's been a dismantling happening on all levels. Like it's created an opportunity to re-examine our cultural norms, and has invited us to connect with the world differently as we turn our gaze inward, versus always being distracted and kind of looking out. And lastly, I want to ignite important conversations around our relationship with the environment and bringing awareness around climate change issues. And so some of the things that I've been kind of working with the last year. And thank you, Andrea, thank you, Noma, and wonderful work from everyone. This is amazing to be a part of the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cecilia.
Hi, I'm Rough Acres, R.L. McKee. This piece is called Intimacy. And it sort of a collage of my year. Beginning of the year, I nearly lost my spouse. And a lot of people have lost a lot of people. So the picture on the left shows that body snatching. And the picture on the right is salvation, the intimacy of physical flesh. Fortunately, I was not sequestered alone. I have my spouse with me, and that has helped me survive.
Thank you so much for sharing, Rough Acres.
This is my piece. My name is Taisha M. And I wanted to, this piece is always, well, let me say first, thank you for having me. I'm always telling myself stories, you know, about the people in my neighborhood, the people in my world, and it always begins in the body for me. The gestures I see on ordinary days and with people. And I felt like this piece is the interesting saga of life that will continue with the journey between cultures, generations, and African ancestry is shown here in the innocence of a child and the wisdom of his grandfather.
Thank you, Taisha.
Am I unmuted? Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Noma. Thank you, fellow artists. I'm really feel lucky to be here with you. This is a really quick shot that I took, a drive-by shooting. I sometimes refer them. I was actually on the bus, the BX12, on my way to Calvary Hospital for a group session with people who had lost adult children. And the figure that was walking by the park reminded me of my son, Will. I liked his silhouette against the trees, and that's about it. So it was just a quick shot. And thanks again for including me.
Thank you so much, Sally, for sharing that. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Eunique Simmons. I just want to say it's a pleasure to be here. My inspiration for the piece came from a body of work that I've been creating using tie-dye and indigo shibori techniques with storytelling. When I heard the word light, it also reminded me of a symbol of joy, life, and healing and goodness. So with that, this piece is called Together Our Light Can Heal the World. This is a 38 by 38 ekphrastic fiber collage. And I just wanted to read an excerpt of the poem that goes with it. Let our hands and voices give light. Together our lights can heal the world. No judgment, no fear, allowing the Creator near. Lifted hands we heal. as one. And again, I think I have a few seconds. This piece is also part of a quilt series with the shapes and representing light and orbits. Thank you.
Thank you, Eunique.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, hello everybody. So I think I'm last, which gives me the pleasure of having seen all this wonderful, moving and inspiring work. Thank you to Noma for everything it's done all these years and for continuing the Woman in the Heights series. I'm very moved and inspired by the work I've seen. Actually, I'm kind of a little speechless, which is not what I usually am. So this piece is called What Would Jesus Do? And it's two orange crate slats nailed together. The text on it says love, love. And on the vertical, it also says brothers keepers, others keepers in charcoal. And it's kind of self-explanatory. There's the mask. What would Jesus do? And in the South, my husband was from Arkansas. And whenever there was a decision to be made, he would jokingly say, well, let's see, what would Jesus do? Because that's what everybody would ask. So what indeed would Jesus do? So one of the things about this, it references three parts. It references our spiritual self, our higher self, our shadow, and our lower self. The spiritual self, obviously, is the cross and the teachings, my brother's keeper, which is pretty much the foundation for most religions and our moral foundations. And then there is the shadow, people not wanting to wear the mask. And the whole thing about the mask itself, our mask, we're masking ourselves. We're not telling the truth. We're not being in the truth. So fundamentally, it just works with the light, the shadow, and our mask selves. And what would Jesus do? Challenges us to be our real selves.
Thank you, Rosa.
Thank you.
Is Leanne here, Michelle?
I did not see her.
I think we have everyone, right?
Aw, comma, thank you.
We did it.
I was really nervous, comma, which I guess you could tell.
Okay, no, that was everybody.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, everybody. Time flies. Thank you for your beautiful work. Thank you for your words. And thank you for being mindful of each other and for listening to each other. It's been wonderful. We have a few minutes for questions and answers. Feel free, audience or artists, to write your questions in the chat, and we'll be answering them in the order they come in. Maybe to begin, I'll just ask a quick question that can be answered in like maybe 2 words, like for every artist. Like maybe I'll call on a few of you. Just what is your biggest, during the pandemic, what has been your biggest challenge and biggest joy? So just 2 words, if you can start, maybe Dianna Schmurz.
Hi. My biggest challenge is everyone saying that they've been, you know, like in lockdown, but I teach and I go to work every day with tons of students and had to wear a mask. So this has been a very unpleasant year for me because I love my job, but it's been a real struggle. And a joy is my partner is freaking amazing and he cooks all the time. And we always used to go out to eat, and I'm going to eat in the house all the time from now on.
Thank you, Diana. Maybe Rose Deller, biggest challenge, biggest joy?
Shot today. And I think that I'm in the way on route to better. My biggest challenge has been missing human contact.
Mm-hmm. Wilhelmina, biggest challenge, biggest joy?
Where am I? Okay. I think my biggest challenge was uncertainty And my biggest joy is that I learned how to do so many new things.
Nice. Wonderful. Selina, biggest challenge, biggest joy?
The biggest challenge that I could think of right now, because there were many, but the biggest challenge at the moment that I could think of was self-care and finding time for myself. I'm a mom of 2 young ones, 6 and under, and they take a lot of my space and time. I'm also a very active daughter and partner and a lot of different titles. Oh, here he goes right now. And so that's the biggest challenge, as you can see, real life. And then my biggest joy is also that I've had the kids, because they've been honestly, not that I'm avoiding what's happening in the world, but they were welcome distractions during a time where I could have really had multiple breakdowns or been depressed. Just the joy that they brought me, even in a small space. I am so grateful for them and having them in my life.
Thank you, Selina. We have a question in the chat. Grisha, can you speak about your ideal behind your work? Do you use these cultural objects often? Grisha?
Yes, hi, sorry, that's not my name, it came up to be. Yeah, so I think my biggest challenge is being away from my family, from our family, which is in Israel, and this pandemic has forced us this very, very hard distance. And I have a toddler, and she hasn't seen her grandparents and extended family for way too long, and that's the biggest burden on us. My biggest joy is my daughter and my family life and my art practice, which I navigate all of them. Thank you.
Can you speak about your ideal behind your work? Do you use those cultural objects often?
Can you say it again? I didn't, it was cut. I'm sorry, my internet connection is unstable. Can you say it again?
Yes, somebody wants to ask if you can speak about your idea behind your work and if you use those cultural objects often.
Yes, so actually it's a pretty new project. I've never worked with those figurines before. It comes from my interest in archaeology, in femalehood, and actually in fertility as well. As I'm coming from I have a female partner, and creating a family is not an obvious process for us, and so it kind of came from trying to get powers and empowered by former femalehood or femininity as such as these figurines, if that makes sense.
Thank you. So I'm gonna ask just a general question, just anyone who wants to raise their hand. Has anyone ventured during the pandemic into doing something that they had never done before, just in terms of technique, materials, or things? Just a quick answer. Anyone? Kathy has a hand.
Oh, frottage.
Okay, anyone else doing something completely different? Wilhelmina?
Wait. Yes, I created a garden for the very first time last year. So I'm working on my second garden.
Wonderful, thank you. Regina, you had your hand raised.
Yes, hi. I've been doing assemblage shelf art out of the history that I'm living through by using the items that we would normally throw away, containers, jars, boxes, looking at them, cutting out little words and making art that is meaningful to me.
Thank you. We are at, go ahead, Taisha.
I started working larger. I started working larger, like really large. For me, 30 by 40, I started pushing myself to try to incorporate more ideas into one canvas. And I started using different glazes and making my work thicker and using more patterns.
Thank you so much. We're at the 8:30 mark. Just quick, maybe wrap up. I want to thank all of the artists. I knew and I know that artists from Upper Manhattan are amazing. You guys are super talented. And I knew I could rely on you for hope and for beauty and for mindfulness. So thank you. I so appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you in person, to see the work in person, but keep doing what you're doing. You're making the world better. So thank you. I think Neria is gonna give us a few words as well.
Yes. Thank you, Andrea. Wow, this was really extraordinary. What a beautiful show. What a beautiful show of the power of women. You are all creators in so many ways, right? In multiple ways. And it really, the concepts of light really shone very brightly here tonight. It's exactly what I needed. And I'm so happy to be in sort of communion with all of you today. This was truly extraordinary. Thank you for being here. We hope you'll come back. We are beginning to sort of kick off our events. We have our stroll, our 2021 stroll coming up in just a few short months. For those of you who may be considering entering a poster submission for our contest that closes at the end of this month, so there's still a little bit of time. We also would encourage you to come back Monday night for our next installment in our Soundwave Brainwaves series, where we bring together scientists from the Zuckerman Institute to enter into dialogue with the remarkable Miguel Cianón. So we really encourage you to come Monday night at 7:30. Check out all we've got going on in our newsletter and also on our website, which incidentally is new or newish. We're sort of in the process of unveiling our new website. So we look forward to you sort of checking us out on our website. Once again, thank you for being here tonight. This was really moving and really inspiring. And congratulations to all of you. And Andrea, once again, thank you for just pouring everything you have into this show. It really does show. So thank you for that. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Great job, artists.